Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. All right, so as of this time, the Donbass region of Ukraine is under attack. This was announced starting about 2 days ago that, you know, the Donbass was being shelled. So let's go through this step by step. First of all, the attacks that they are under are by artillery shells, not missiles. So what does this mean? Of course, the United States and NATO are claiming that this is some false flag attack by Russia. Okay. First of all, artillery shells have a far more limited range than missiles do. So if these were being launched from Russian territory, it would have to be missiles considering the range. It is the western edge of the Donbass, which is eastern Ukraine, where they adjoin the demarcation line with the Donbass region. So that's, over 100 miles. So it would have to be, if it was coming from Russia, it would have to be missiles, not artillery. Because artillery, except for the very largest artillery, which would be easily seen on satellite, and nothing of that size has been spotted on satellite along that border. So only the largest artillery would have a range of that far. So it is definitely, the people in the Donbass are not shelling themselves, okay? They're not. So that's the first thing. Now, the thing you need to look at here is the response to this. So the people in the Donbass region, their leaders told them, to start evacuating to Russia. For very obvious reasons, because they have been under attack by Ukraine. What is the U.S. and NATO response to these people being under attack? Are they suggesting coming in and setting up a demilitarized zone, line of demarcation between the two sides? No, absolutely not. Are they offering to come in and protect the people of the Donbass? No, absolutely not. Is Russia, if this was a false flag, why from Russia? What would be the intended, purpose of this? As an excuse to invade? Well, then look at what Russia is doing. Has Russia moved any forces back to that border? No, they have not. Have they tried to invade this area? No, they have not. Instead, what they have done is set up resources, housing, food, medical care for the refugees that are coming from that region. In other words, they are doing something to help the people, which the West is absolutely not doing. All right, so it's something I've said before. What is this all about? It's about square footage, lines on a map, and it is about genocide coming from the right-wing elements in Ukraine, the Azov Battalion, the Ukrainian government, which is extremely right-wing, that is what this is all about. So, throughout all of this, one has to really ask the question, how much of a threat is Russia? They keep on talking about what a threat Russia is and all of this, that Russia's this giant threat. Let me bring up a couple of points here. All right, so you consider, a threat. Russia has a population, as of 2020, of 144 million people. And Europe has a population, not including Ukraine or Russia. Europe has a population of 747 million people. Russia's defense spending, their military spending, equals less than 25% of military spending for NATO. Compared to the United States, Russia has a military budget of roughly 4% of U.S. military spending. That's just the Pentagon spending. And I brought up the fact before that if you want to talk about U.S. defense spending, you have to include the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the Department of Homeland Security, and VA funding. If you add those to our, military spending, then our defense spending is greater than every other country on earth combined. So how much of a threat is Russia when you consider this? If you combine Russia and China's spending, they still, on their militaries, they still don't equate the United States military spending, just our military Pentagon spending for our military, equals more than the next 11 countries combined. And Russia and China are both in that 11 countries. If you put all 11 countries together, the United States spends more than the next 11 countries combined. And like I said, we spend more than every other country on earth combined on defense. That's not defense. That is not defense. Anyway, so if Russia was going to enact some false flag in Ukraine, then don't you think that they would be using that as an excuse? What would be the purpose of a false flag as an excuse for an invasion if there's no invasion? They would be using an excuse for an invasion to invade. You would see an invasion going on, and there is no invasion going on. I know that our government and our media and the people that believe all this garbage are going to say, well, there's no invasion yet. Well, you're the same people that thought that there was going to be an invasion on the 16th or the 18th. The 18th is past. The 16th is past. The 18th is past. Well, it's going to happen on the 20th, just like it happened on the 16th or the 18th, right? You have no credibility whatsoever, period. if anyone is believing this anymore, then you are nothing but a warmonger that wants a war. Even if Russia did invade Ukraine, what business is it of ours? It's really not. But there's no point to it. With the price of oil being through the roof, thanks to, our gas companies putting sanctions on Iran and Russia and Venezuela and Syria, and all these oil-producing countries all have sanctions on them, while we have over 400 oil wells that are shut in, that were active as recently as 2019. You go to oilprice.com and look right underneath their logo, and it has a tab called Rig Count. Change the view, click on that, change the view to 5 years, and look how many oil wells there were active in 2019 and 2018 compared to today. There are over 400 wells in the United States that are shut in right this minute. And here we are shipping off oil and gas and liquefied natural gas to Europe and trying to sell it to China, etc. This sounds a lot like the Irish potato famine. The fact is that during the Irish potato famine, that there were potatoes that were being produced, that were being grown in Ireland, though a portion of them, the crop was reduced because of an infection that hit the crops. But there were still crops that were being grown, but they were being exported to England from Ireland. Okay? This is what is going on now. We're producing oil. We're producing gas. We are producing enough to probably be energy independent. But instead, we're sending it to other countries to sell it for the profit of the few, for the and meanwhile, domestic users are paying highly elevated prices, and we are forcing people in other countries to pay higher prices because of our sanctions. And Biden has said, well, if Russia invades Ukraine, he said this right next to the German president. He says that he will not allow Nord Stream 2 to proceed. Right in front of the leader of a freaking sovereign country, he tells the world what he will not allow to happen in that country. And this is okay. When are Europeans going to have enough of this? They're paying higher prices. When are you going to have enough? You're paying higher prices. Our military budget keeps going up year over year. You're paying more for gas. You're paying more for oil, which causes you to pay more and more for everything else, because everything else depends on the price of oil and gas. But we're going to keep ramping up toward a war where Russia has tried to join the European Union, the European Economic Union, to be more precise. Russia has suggested becoming a NATO partner instead of an adversary. And who is always opposed to this? NATO and the United States. How much are we going to keep paying? How much of a threat are we going to continue to be placed under? All right. So just stop letting people pull this garbage on you, okay? Stop listening to this. All right. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel and the website. Sign up for issuesunite.com before you get censored off of other social media. And thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day.